This is Silvana from AllServiceNow Learning. Today we will cover the Flow Designer and show two demos, two different examples. So this is the content I like to make, and if you're interested, please subscribe to not miss anything coming from this channel. So let's go into the demo. So just to explain what a Flow Designer does, with a Flow Designer, you can technically automate some actions to either update records, so ask for approvals, create tasks and notifications, and many other things. In this demo, we will cover the approvals and how to ask for an approval and how it updates a record. And then in the second demo, we will go ahead and create a scheduled job that will actually go ahead and update records. Okay, going into the demo. So as we said, for the first demo, we will go ahead and create an approval record. And to save time, I have actually created a flow already. And to get to the flow, you would type in flow, go to all, type in flow, and under the Flow Designer, you will go ahead and have an option to click New and create a flow. Since I've already created a flow, let me create another one just to show you how it's done, but I will not activate it. So to create a flow, the first one we will create is an approval flow. And all you need to do on this page is give the flow a name and select Run as the system user. You really don't need to touch anything else. All right, this we can ignore. To go ahead and create the approval is, we can go, first we have to pick a trigger. And this trigger will be on the creator updated, or you can select also if the record is updated. But let's go with created and updated. And we will make it for the incident table. Run trigger only if not currently running. And we can go ahead and pick a condition where state changes to in progress. So technically what this means is that if the record is created, updated, and the table is incident, the state changes to in progress. And if there's nothing else running in the background, no other flows, then go ahead and ask for approval. So if this does not pop up, usually if you type in something here that you're looking for, let me see if task shows up. It does. But usually if it does not show up, if let's say ask for approval does not show up on the list, but you know it's on the list, you can always go to ServiceNow Core and it should be on the list here. All right, so let's go to ask for approval. Then we will select the record that we selected at the top in the trigger, incident record. We will leave everything else alone. When it comes to your specifics, whatever you want for this specific record. We want the user to either approve or reject. And now the choice is any approver approves or rejects, so all users have to approve or reject. So you can go through this and pick whatever qualifies for your use case. So for our use case, we will just pick anyone approves or rejects. And we will use this incident test group that has about 2 users in it. So once the record goes into the in progress state, the approvals should go out. Now, if the approvals are approved, so we go to the approvals, state is approved. Then what happens? We can say that we will update the record. And then we have to go back to the trigger because the trigger has our record. So update the record to state is resolved. But since we cannot update the record in the just immediately to the resolved state, there are 2 mandatory fields, as I can show you here, that are required. Let's go to this record. If we were to update it to resolved, the resolution code and resolution notes they will not allow us to go ahead and update the record unless these fields are populated. So let's put those fields in. So resolution code and resolution notes. So resolution code, we will say something like solution provided. Resolution notes, we will say incident is approved. Okay, that's for if approved. But then we have to also make sure that if the incident is not approved, so let's go back to the approval. Approval state says that it's rejected. If it is rejected, we will update the record. Go back to the record to state is canceled, and work notes say incident was not approved. All right, and how this normally is activated is you would click the save button and then you would activate it. But since we already have another flow that's exactly the same as this one, I will deactivate this one. And go with the approval flow that is still active. And this is the one that we just created that was deactivated. And how we know it's deactivated says inactive here, and this one says active. So technically it's the same flow. It says state changes to in progress, only if not currently running. It's on the incident. We're asking for approvals for the incident test group. And then if approved, We will update the state, resolution code, and resolution notes. If rejected, then we will start the work notes and set the state to canceled. So let's go ahead and test this now. And how we're going to do this is we will go to incident, create a new incident, and we will call it approval flow. All right, since we're not required to fill anything else out, we will leave it alone. And also to mention, because let's go ahead and save the record. The incident that doesn't have the related list for the approvers. So I just added that into this table. And the way to do that is you would go configure related list and just move the approvers from this side to this side. That's to get it on the incident record. All right, if that is your requirement. So now, since this record is created and we are in the new state, so let's go to in progress. We'll go ahead and save. Once we save, let's go ahead and refresh. Now let's go to the bottom. We will see the two approvers from our group. Since we selected if anyone just approves or rejects, let's go ahead and approve. It should set the record to approved, and it changed the state to resolved, and also filled in the resolution code, and also incident was approved as the resolution notes. So let's go ahead and create a new incident where we can reject the approval rejected. And this one should actually go ahead and cancel the incident. So we have to move it to in progress for it to work. Now the flow is running. Let's go ahead and refresh. All right, so now let's go ahead and reject. Okay, and that state, change the state to cancel. And also wrote the work notes, this incident was rejected. So now, since I showed you how to create a flow, let me go ahead and skip the one for just immediately go into the scheduled job flow. So this one is active flow. And what we've done here as the trigger, when you create a trigger, you would select daily. So what we're doing here, we will go ahead on a daily basis at a certain amount of time. We will go ahead and update multiple records to where the state is not closed, and assignment group is incident testing group. And once that happens, it will all of the incident testing group, all the records that have the incident testing group will be reassigned to the incident management group. So the way that this is done, also just to show you how a trigger is created for a scheduled job that will run daily, is we can create a flow. We will pick system user, and I will not create the entire flow. I will just show you the trigger. And you have the option down below here to click daily, weekly, monthly, run once, repeat, whatever you need. So if you select daily, it will give you the time. So let's go ahead and skip this, and we will set the time to technically update incident test group. Let's go ahead and look at all of the incident records. So all of the records that have incident test group. Let's see how many. It's 11. All of these records should be updated to when we set the time to. So right now it says 9:37. Let's go 9:38. So save this, activate. Now the flow is active. So now we have to wait until 9:38 and all of these records and the updated date should go ahead and change to the incident management group. So let's give this just a minute. And also please subscribe in the meantime and comment if you have any questions, anything you would like to see on this channel that I can provide and help out with. Okay. All right, it's 12:38. Sometimes this takes just a little bit of time here. We will refresh the page and no records are in here anymore. So what happened is at 9:38, all of the incident test assignment groups were switched over to the incident management group. And this can be done for anything. Technically, as long as there's a field and you have a category. So as long as you have a field and you have a requirement that needs to happen on either a daily, weekly basis, and so on. So I hope that you found this helpful, and if there's any other questions you might have, please comment below. Thank you.